The arrival of Princess Leonor in Denmark. The world expected tradition. Denmark expected formality. But what unfolded was different. A young future queen stepped off the plane. Not as a princess in ceremony, but as a woman stepping into destiny. The air in Copenhagen carried a crisp September chill, yet the crowd gathered at the royal airport buzzed with warmth. Flags of Spain and Denmark waved side by side. Reporters whispered predictions. Citizens craned their necks, hoping to catch a glimpse of the young woman destined to inherit the Spanish throne. And then, the doors of the royal jet opened. Princess Leonor emerged. Her posture tall, her eyes steady, her smile both shy and commanding. She was not just visiting. This was more than a diplomatic arrival. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one woven with tradition, politics, love, and uncertainty. Why Denmark? Why now? The question lingered in the minds of millions. Was this merely a state visit? Or the quiet unveiling of a future union between two royal houses, Spain and Denmark, bound by history and perhaps by something more personal? The cameras captured her every movement. The contrast was striking. Leonor, in a pale blue coat that mirrored the Danish sky, walked down the steps with the grace of someone far older than her years. She greeted the Danish officials with perfect composure. But the most electrifying moment came when Prince Christian appeared. He stepped forward, dressed in a sharp navy suit, the Crown Prince of Denmark meeting the future Queen of Spain. Their eyes met. It was not rehearsed, not calculated. It was brief, yet enough to stir whispers across Europe. Was this the moment the two royal futures collided? As the motorcade moved through Copenhagen, citizens lined the streets. Some cheered for the Spanish princess. Others held banners for their own prince. And in that union of voices, an unspoken question rose louder than the chants: were they witnessing the start of a royal bond destined to reshape Europe? To understand the weight of this moment, one must step back. Leonor, the eldest daughter of King Felipe and Queen Letizia, has carried the expectations of Spain since birth. Every lesson, every speech, every gesture has been preparation for her future crown. Yet here she was, on Danish soil, not just as Spain's princess, but as a young woman stepping into her own power. The Danish royal family welcomed her with open arms. Queen Mary, ever elegant, embraced Leonor warmly, whispering something only the two of them could hear. King Frederick extended a handshake filled with formality, yet softened by a fatherly pride. And Christian, well, his role was different. He was not just a host. He was her contemporary. Her equal. The symbolism was unavoidable. At the Amalienborg Palace, the scene grew even more intimate. Cameras captured official smiles, but behind the gilded doors, family dynamics took shape. Queen Letizia watched carefully, her eyes scanning every interaction. King Felipe, stoic as ever, kept his words few but deliberate. The Spanish monarchs knew what was at stake. For them, this was not just a visit. It was a test. And for Leonor, it was a balancing act between duty and self. Was she here as a diplomat? Or as a young woman following her heart? That was the loop pulling every observer deeper into the story. Dinner at the palace added another layer. Chandeliers glittered. Crystal glasses rang. Speeches were made about unity, heritage, and shared futures. Yet beneath the words, eyes searched for subtle clues. Did Leonor and Christian exchange a glance longer than necessary? Did their parents notice? Did the courtiers whisper behind fans and wine glasses? Every detail fed the fire of speculation. The next morning, Leonor visited Copenhagen University, symbolizing her commitment to education and European partnership. Crowds of students cheered, waving both Spanish and Danish flags. And there, among the laughter of youth, Leonor's smile widened, not the practiced royal smile, but something genuine. Something free. And Christian was there, walking beside her. It is in these small, human moments that the future of royalty becomes most fascinating. A handshake may be protocol. But a laugh shared between two heirs. That is unscripted history. What did it mean? Was Leonor's arrival carefully orchestrated diplomacy? Or was it a step towards something personal, something far more powerful than politics? The loop tightened again, drawing the audience deeper. The Spanish press dissected every second. Some hailed Leonor's elegance, her composure, her undeniable ability to command attention. Others raised questions: was Spain ready to see its future queen aligned with Denmark? And what of the Danish press? They speculated openly. Could this young Spanish princess become Denmark's future queen consort, binding two monarchies in ways unseen since the Age of Empires? Family tension lurked beneath the glitter. Some say Queen Letizia fears Leonor's independence, preferring her to remain tightly within Spain's orbit. Others whisper that King Felipe, though outwardly calm, quietly encourages Leonor to carve her own destiny. On the Danish side, Queen Mary is rumored to be protective of Christian, wary of foreign influence, yet intrigued by Leonor's poise. For Leonor herself, the path is even more complicated. Every step she takes is magnified. Every glance is interpreted. Every silence is filled with speculation. And yet, she moves forward. Not as a child shadowed by her parents, but as a woman stepping toward her own reign. As the visit unfolded, one scene stood out above all. On the steps of Amalienburg, Leonor and Christian stood side by side as the national anthems played. The Spanish anthem first, then the Danish. Leonor stood firm, her chin lifted. Christian mirrored her posture. Two heirs, two nations, two futures, frozen in a single frame. It was more than ceremony. It was symbolism, and the world noticed. By the end of her stay, Leonor had done more than fulfill protocol. She had ignited imagination. Spain saw a daughter who could one day lead with both strength and compassion. Denmark saw a potential partner to their prince. And Europe saw history whispering possibilities. The arrival of Princess Leonor in Denmark was not just about diplomacy. It was about identity, destiny, and the unspoken possibility of love. It was about family tension playing quietly behind palace walls. It was about a generation of royals learning to balance tradition with personal freedom. And so, as Leonor's plane departed, leaving behind the Danish skyline, one truth remained: this was only the beginning. The story was far from over. For in every royal step, in every careful glance, in every unspoken word, history writes itself slowly, deliberately, beautifully. And the world continues to watch.